So everyone is welcome to be in this space, all identities, all ways of being in the world, all kinks, all fetishes, all genders, all species, welcome and supported in their expression. And we do so in a way that creates a container for safe exploration, with your welcoming in connection and exploration with people who are like-minded and who are excited about the things that get you off to.
So don't be afraid to experiment. Is that what you're saying? Like in this VR space, it's like a virtual simulation. It's real, like it's 100% real. That there's also this, how can I try different things on? Yeah, like almost like wear different costumes and step into a different role. And that's what PlayRoomSX parties are providing, a safe space where you can stretch your comfort zone a little.
So Venus, how do I ask for consent to touch somebody that I'm interested in?
I see someone cute or interesting and I want to get closer. I approach them, but I'm always really aware of, a healthy sort of space boundary. You may not want me like right up in your face like this straight away.
Right.
So I give a little bit of space. I introduce myself and sometimes I may walk around so I can see every angle of you. I just ask a question. Like, would you like to make an agreement to have a play with me? Or is there anything that you're curious about exploring? I'm open. And you respond yes, no, or maybe.
So I see sort of two things you did there. One was like you're kind of reading my body language. You're trying to like see, can I approach you? And if I'm like, oh, hey, sexy. And then second, you're just using your verbal skills. Like, how do I make a direct request? Are you open to playing, leaving it general? Like, I think that can sometimes be hard for people because they're like, I want to like touch your boobs, but like I don't know how to say that if that feels a little bit too forward.
Too direct.
Something like, are you open to just engaging in some way first before you're making a specific request can feel safer for people.
I like to give a little bit of information. That really helps. So I might begin chatting about a fantasy that I have if they're open to it. So I would ask, would you like to hear a fantasy that I have? And you can still say no. And in that case, I could say thank you and I walk away. I think another thing to point out is it's really good to give explicit consent in this playroom space, which means actually speaking up. Yes, enthusiastically if you want to do something. No, clearly and kindly if you're just not interested. And maybe, or yeah, sure, let's negotiate. So these are three directions you can take. And implicit consent is when we sort of don't say anything. But I would encourage people to practice their explicit consent.
You said when someone says no, it's really important to thank the person for saying no to you, because it does not mean you're rejected. It means that in that moment, that person is honoring their personal boundaries and well-being. And you want to thank them for that because it takes a lot of courage to speak your truth. And you're much more likely in the future to get a yes from someone, hear those boundaries with respect and care. And you being someone that's like, cool, thanks for letting me approach you. Oh yeah. People can approach me and it's not a big deal. It's okay for me to say no. It's okay for me to honor my truth in that moment.
But for all of this to work, we have to take responsibility for ourselves. And so we guide you through a facilitated space and we'll talk about hard limits and soft limits, the safe words that we use in the community, which are green, amber, and red. Green means, yes, go for it. I'm really up for this. Amber means pause, listen to me. And red is everything stops and we have a little chat. We want to help you practice new ways of exploring and communicating and creating the scene that you've been dreaming of.
And this is a great place to practice that feels a lot safer than it might be in real life to approach kinds of problems and challenges.
Exactly. This is the new sex ed in VR in PlayRoomSX.